This is Blue and Brown from the Americans. His time is cheap. His time is not cheap. The cost of his time is a dream, an ounce of blood for under 20, the price of a half ounce of silver. He tries to keep the market in mind. He doesn't know who's paying ultimately, suspects the dollars can be traced all the way back to ExxonMobil, somehow, as everything always is. Up into the atmosphere, down to the groundwater. He is involved in this enormity somehow. This he suspects. Rather, he knows. He is a shrinking ice floe. His time is cheap. Eye floaters, carpal tunnel, hemorrhoids, sciatica. His grandfather lost a finger in the paper mill, or were they stitching the rivets onto blue jeans, and it was severed in an industrial-strength sewing machine. He never remembers which accident left his grandfather with the stump. Their time was cheap. Most work is a mystery, some small act implicated, complicit, hidden even from himself, but worthy of blame nevertheless. He is no longer young, but he is still driven by old men, mostly men, the ones who didn't rally or live lives of protest. Those are the ones who hold the reins. How did we fail to come to this conclusion? How did we fail to predict this end? Their time. He writes their memos, attends their meetings, translates their decisions all day. There's a music in his head. Meta, 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 meta. An engine with a sputter. We are children, and our time is cheap. So much fear about decisions when so few matter. His father would choose B or A and work his ass off until it paid. And always the locomotive rhythm. Meta, 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 meta. Air escaping a tire. Maybe a land developer. He's nearing the end and may never know for whom he's racing. The promise of a first-class education, the economics of overpopulation, the quiet fade of a forgotten generation. How did we fail to come to this conclusion? His time is cheap. Petrol, plastics, pesticides, poison. He remembers hoping he'd be Don DeLillo or Joe Strummer or Abby Hoffman. His time is not cheap. An ounce of blood for under 20, the price of a half ounce of silver, but there is nowhere else to turn. Meta, 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 meta. The cost of his time is a dream. He gets up to go home. Everyone else is gone. He puts on his jacket, leaves his computer on.